The analytics thinking process from problem to decision. Good analytics usually follows a structured process. It starts with a business problem, something that requires explanation or improvement. Next, we define the metrics that help us measure the problem. Then we analyze the data to understand what is happening. From these analyses, we generate insights that explain why something is happening. And finally, those insights should support a business decision or action. This process helps ensure that analytics leads to meaningful outcomes. Step first, understand the problem. Start with the business problem. The first step in good analytics is understanding the business problem. Before analyzing any data, we need to clearly define what happened and why it matters. For example, instead of saying revenue decreased, we might define the problem more precisely as conversion rate decreased on the checkout page. The more clearly we define the problem, the easier it becomes to analyze the data and identify possible causes. Step 2. Define the right metrics. Choose metrics that reflect value. Once the problem is clear, the next step is identifying the right metrics. Metrics help us measure what is happening and track changes over time. However, not all metrics are equally meaningful. Some metrics reflect real business value, while others may look impressive but provide little useful insight. Choosing the right metrics ensures that our analysis focuses on what truly matters. Step 3. Analyze the data. Explore patterns and behavior. After defining the metrics, we begin analyzing the data. At this stage, analysts explore patterns and behaviors within the data. Common techniques include segmentation, funnel analysis, cohort analysis, and trend analysis. These methods help us understand how different groups of users behave and where changes are occurring. The goal is to move beyond surface level numbers and begin identifying meaningful patterns. Step 4. Generate insights. Explain what is happening. In other words, the whys behind the numbers. The next step is turning analysis into insights. An insight explains why something happened. For example, an analysis might reveal that retention dropped because new users from a particular marketing campaign leave the product shortly after signing up. Insights go beyond describing the data. They explain the underlying drivers behind the numbers. Step 5. Drive decisions. Analytics should lead to action. So the final step is turning insights into decisions. Analytics creates value only when it leads to action. These actions might include improving a product feature, adjusting marketing strategies, or redesigning part of the user experience. Without decisions and actions, analytics remains purely descriptive. The ultimate goal of analytics is to support better decision making.